Hey there, I'm Doug Parker, host of Cruise Radio, and today we're going to visit and tour that little slice of paradise known as Half Moon Cay. Before we head there, if you like this video, feel free to hit the subscribe button and give it a like. So now let's talk about Half Moon Cay. The island's actual name is Little San Salvador Island. It was bought by Carnival Corporation back in 1997 for $6 million. For comparison, with inflation, that's about $9.3 million today. Geographically, it's 98 miles southeast of Nassau, Bahamas, and it sits on 2,400 acres. Now, only 50 of those acres are developed. The rest is set aside as a wildlife preserve. When they developed Half Moon Cay, they actually did a really good job at mixing and balancing the nature part of the experience and the guest experience, because while there is a beautiful beach there and things to do, there are plenty of nature trails and walking trails if you want to get, kind of get back away from the beach for a little while. As far as cruise ship calls to Half Moon Cay, the island receives over 200 stops per year. Now, that's between Carnival Cruise Line and Holland America Line. Carnival uses the destination most, and Holland America uses the island seasonally because they have most of their ships in Europe in the summertime. So you're talking like April through November, you're going to see all Carnival ships there. And then starting in November, the Holland America ships start calling there again once they, deploy all their ships from Europe back to the U.S. Now, by looking at the footage here, you're probably wondering just how you get onto the island because there isn't a dock here, and you're very correct. In fact, the private islands in the Bahamas now, we're only talking about Bahamas private islands, the only cruise line areas the only cruise line islands that have docks, Royal Caribbean is building one right now for 2019 at Coco Cay, and then Disney has one at Castaway Cay. Carnival does not have a dock, or does Princess Cays as well, or Norwegian's Great Stirrup Cay. So those are all tender ports. How the tendering process works, though, is you'll just walk downstairs to Deck Zero or wherever they load the water shuttles. You'll board these two-story boats, and it'll take you over from the ship to the islands, and it's about a 10 to 15-minute trip each way. Once you get off the water shuttle, you're able to go wherever you like. A lot of people head towards the beach, and if it's lunchtime, you can head over to the pavilion there to have that barbecue that's done on Half Moon Cay. I should probably tell you, just like when it comes to embarkation on a cruise ship, a lot of people bum rush to get on Half Moon Cay early. They want to get the most time on the island. So if you go down to Deck Zero early, you're probably going to experience a little bit of a line trying to get from the ship over to the island. If you wait a little while, maybe sleep in and enjoy breakfast on the ship, and then go over to Half Moon Cay, after a couple of hours of it being there, you probably won't experience much lines, and those water shuttles run back and forth probably every 15 minutes or so. A quick stroller on the island shows why it's so popular among cruisers. The "I wish I could stay here forever" bar, that's a mouthful to say, but trust me, it's exactly how you'll feel the second once you step foot on the island. And then not far from the bar is a relatively new addition to Half Moon Cay. It's the Lobster Shack. This is a for-fee venue that was introduced back in 2016 to help celebrate the island's 20th anniversary. And the Lobster Shack does have a fairly limited menu, but a lot of it is really, really good and tasty. And I mean, they're pretty much pulling these lobsters right out of the water off the coast of Half Moon Cay, so you can't go wrong there, right? And if you don't feel like paying to eat at the Lobster Shack, you can walk over to the free buffet. They have a barbecue out there. There is set hours, so you have to watch and see what time it's actually open until. But a lot of the food is prepared on the ship with the exception of the grill items. Like you have your hamburgers, hot dogs, jerk chicken, a bunch of sides. If you want to avoid standing in line forever, though, you want to find out what time this is open and be one of the first people there, because it does get a little bit crowded there. And when people find out that it's open, people swarm to it because, you work up an appetite swimming out there in the ocean. Another spot you'll want to make sure to hit on Half Moon Cay is Captain Morgan's pirate ship. Some people think this is just a cool photo op, but there's actually a bar inside, and it goes up multiple levels. So you can actually go to the bottom level or walk up to the upper level or go up one more level and get some pretty cool photos of your ship. And on the subject of the pirate ship, the further you get away from the tender operation where they let you off, the better you are, because people usually just plop down right when they step on the beach, and it's kind of funny because you see everyone kind of just sitting in one area. The further down you walk, which is kind of by the pirate ship or a little past the pirate ship, the less crowded it gets because either people can't or don't want to walk down that far. So the further down the beach you are, the more of the beach you have to yourself. And speaking of having the beach to yourself, you can actually rent a cabana on Half Moon Cay, and it's great for small groups. Each one holds about 4 people, and you can get more in there, but you'll have to pay for the additional guests. The best thing about the cabanas is they give you, in a way to escape the sun, you'll get some snacks, a fridge filled with water and sodas, and if you want to kick things up even further, you can go to a 2-story beach villa. These will hold 8 people, and they have a 5-person hot tub, a private bathroom. Depending on the sailing and the time of the year, these are about $550 each. It may seem like a lot for a single day rental, but if you have 7 or 8 people splitting the cost, it's not bad at all. And then if you want to escalate that a little bit more, there is the ultimate day at Half Moon Cay, and that's for 12 people. It's a 1,600 square foot private oasis, and most people who visit the island don't even know this exists, or let alone they could rent it, but it's about $1,600. But again, if you divide that between 12 people, that's about $133 per person. And if you think what it includes, it's totally worth it. I mean, there's an 8-person hot tub, a barbecue area, full bar, dining area, changing rooms. It's all behind a privacy gate, too, to make sure that you and your guests have it all to yourselves and no one's around. You also have the services of a butler, a bartender, even a lifeguard. This place is pretty sick. And you have an open bar, not a bad thing. And speaking of bars, if you have the Carnival's Cheers package for Half Moon Cay, it does not work on this island. So you have to actually pay for the drinks as you go on Half Moon Cay. That goes the same for Holland America, but Holland America does sell a day package or a day pass for drinking on this island. And it varies on price, I believe. I think my last sailing was on Eurodam there in November of 2017, and it was about $29 for the day, and that's all you can drink on the island while the ship is actually docked there. Again, Carnival does not offer any kind of package. It's pay as you go. Holland America did at least offer one on my sailing where you could purchase a pass and have an unlimited experience on Half Moon Cay. Some of the excursions offered on Half Moon Cay, there's the horseback riding, there's a Stingray Adventure, Island Bike Tour, an Eco Lagoon Tour, you can do parasailing, glass bottom boat, snorkel excursions. Typical island experience type excursions, you can book these on board or before you go on your cruise, whatever cruise line you're sailing with. And that will about do it for our tour of Half Moon Cay. I'll leave you with a little bit more video footage here of the island and some of the experiences on Half Moon Cay. Once again, my name is Doug Parker. I'm the host of Cruise Radio in the Daily Cruise Radio News Brief. If you want to check out either of those, you can listen to them wherever you find your favorite podcast. Just type in Cruise Radio or Cruise Radio News. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe to the channel for more content and give it a like. And let me know what you think of Half Moon Cay. Have you been there, or do you book your cruise because of Half Moon Cay? I know a lot of people do. I'm curious of your thoughts. Again, my name is Doug Parker. Thank you so much for watching.